Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 12, text number 10. Atayajata eknesham kratubir bhuri dakshinehe Devya kriya devatanam karma karma palapradam. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As long as he remained at home, Dhruva Maharaj performed many great ceremonial sacrifices in order to please the enjoyer of all sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prescribed ceremonial sacrifices are especially meant to please Vishnu, who is the objective of all such sacrifices and who awards the resultant benedictions. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, Yajñārtāt karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. One should act or work only in order to please the Supreme Lord. Otherwise one becomes entangled in resultant reactions. According to 4 divisions of Varna and Ashrama, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are especially advised to perform great ceremonial sacrifices and to distribute their accumulated money very liberally. Dhruva Maharaj, as a king and ideal Kshatriya, performed many such sacrifices, giving very liberally in charity. Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are supposed to earn their money and accumulate great riches. Sometimes they do it by acting sinfully. Kshatriyas are meant to rule over the country. Dhruva Maharaj, for example, in the course of the ruling had to fight and kill many yakshas. Such action is necessary for Kshatriyas. A Kshatriya should not be coward. He should not be non-violent. To rule over the country, he has to act violently. Kshatriya and Vaishyas are therefore especially advised to give in charity at least 50% of their accumulated wealth. In Bhagavad Gita, it is recommended that even though one enters a renounced order of life, he still cannot give up the performance of yajna, dana and tapasya. They are never to be given up. Tapasya is meant for renounced order of life. Those who are retired from worldly activities should perform tapasya, penances and austerities. Those who are in the material world, the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, must give charity. Brahmacharis, the beginning of their lives, should perform different kind of yajnas. Dhruva Maharaj, as an ideal king, practically emptied his treasury by giving charity. A king is not meant simply to realize taxes from the citizens and accumulate wealth to spend in sense gratification. World monarchy has failed ever since kings began to satisfy their personal senses with the taxes accumulated from the citizens. Of course, whether the system is monarchy or democracy, the same corruption is still going on. At the present moment, there are different parties in democratic government. But everyone is busy trying to keep his post or trying to keep his political party in power. The politicians have very little time to think of the welfare of the citizens, whom they oppress with heavy taxes in the form of income tax, sales tax, and many other taxes. People sometimes have 80 to 90% of their income taken away, and these taxes are lavishly spent for high salaries drawn by officers and rulers. Formerly, the taxes accumulated from the citizens were spent for performing great sacrifices as enjoined in the Vedic literature. At the present moment, however, almost all forms of sacrifices are not at all possible. Therefore, it is recommended in the Shastra that people should perform Sankirtana Yajna. Any householder, regardless of his position, can perform this Sankirtana Yajna without expenditure. All family members can sit together and simply clap their hands and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Somehow or the other, everyone can manage to perform such a yajna and distribute prasadam to the people in general. This is quite different for this age of Kali. This is quite sufficient for this age of Kali. The Krishna consciousness movement is based on this principle. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra at every moment as much as possible, both inside and outside of temple, and as far as possible, distribute prasadam. This process can be accelerated with the cooperation of state administrators and those who are producing the country's wealth. Simply by liberal distribution of prasadam and Sankirtana, the whole world can become peaceful and prosperous. Generally, in all the material sacrifices recommended in the Vedic literature, there are offerings to the demigods. This demigod worship is especially meant for less intelligent people. Actually, the result of such sacrifice goes to Supreme Personality Godhead Narayana. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhukta Ram Yajna Tapasam. He is actually the enjoyer of all sacrifices. His name therefore is Yajna Purusha. Although Dhruva Maharaj was a great devotee and had nothing to do with these sacrifices, to set an example to his people, he performed many sacrifices, gave all his wealth in charity. For as long as he lived as a householder, he never spent a farthing for his sense gratification. In this verse, the word karma phala pradam is very significant. The Lord awards everyone different kinds of karma as the individual living entity's desires. He is the super soul present within the heart of everyone, and is so kind and liberal that he gives everyone full facilities to perform whatever acts one wants. Then the result of the action is also enjoyed by the living entity. If anyone wants to enjoy or lord it over material nature, the Lord gives him full facilities, but he becomes entangled in the resultant reactions. Similarly, if anyone wants to engage himself fully in devotion service, the Lord gives him full facilities. The devotee enjoys the results. The Lord is therefore known as Karma Phala Pradha. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So Dhruva Maharaj continued to rule his kingdom, and as an ideal ruler, as a Kshatriya, to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who is also called Yajneshwara. So the entire material creation is set up as a facility for expression of free will of the living entities to seek independent existence and enjoyment of Satchitananda, enjoyment of power, knowledge, love, sense pleasures. Entire material existence is, as Prabhupada is saying in this purport, is a facility that has been set up very kindly by the Supreme Lord for those who opt for this kind of existence and enjoyment. So the material world is created in such a way that even if you are engaged in sense gratification, engaged in the pravritti marga of doing good karma, pleasing Vishnu, enjoying the results of that, and in this way always trying to keep oneself in good position by performing the yajnas, being a good. The present population, they are not called karmis, they are called vikarmis, because they do not want, they are not following the path of the scriptures, where the Lord prescribes, this is a way if you want to enjoy power, you want to enjoy wealth, you want to enjoy love, all these things in material rasas you want to enjoy. I have prescribed a path for it. If you go according to that path, then that person is called a karmi. But normally, of course, we call everybody as karmis. But the present population have no sense of living in this world as ordered by Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. They have no idea. It is unknown. They never think that life is meant to be like that. But material life is meant to be like that. Only those who are ignorant due to the degradation of three pillars of religiosity, it has come down to this situation of 90% of the people whom we see, they astra and then enjoy. They are simply based on utility. If I can work hard to somehow to get money or enjoyment, I shall do it. There is no yajna, dhana, tapa in their life at all. Of course, some tapa is there. That is why the world is running. You see every day morning, people get up, get into the train, go for work. Till 8-9 hours they have to work. So that is another way of yajna. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, yajna is born out of prescribed duties. So why the world is still surviving? If people don't work, it will not survive. So there is tapasya, there is some tapasya. Without that, the world will collapse. People do not work, world will collapse. So the working to earn money is a kind of a tapasya. Yajna, dhana, tapa has to be there. Anyway, basically the living entity, through his journey, earn enough punya and get association of my messengers in this world, get association of Vaishnavas, and then become a Vaishnava, to get out of this material world and choose to get into the life of love of Godhead, of always pleasing Vishnu, has been made a key rule in this material world also, that if you want material happiness, you have to perform yajnas to please the Supreme Lord. In other words, the living entity has got the propensity, because Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Because Krishna is unlimited enjoyment. We being his part and parcel, we are also enjoyers. But our enjoyment is coming, constitutionally it has to come by pleasing Krishna. So spiritual world is full of living entities, always seeking, everywhere, in everything, in every person, in every situation, how I can add pleasure to the Lord by my activities. Exactly how in this material world, everybody's paradigm, Satchidananda paradigm is how I can increase my Satchidananda from everything, every person, every situation, every activity, from everywhere. This is the perception of the living entity in this material world, always trying to take, exploit. So this taking consciousness, grabbing consciousness, earning consciousness, self-dependent consciousness, self-earning consciousness, self-enjoying consciousness, fruitive mentality, that is self-earning. So this is one type of consciousness called false egoism. And that is what everybody is practicing in the material world. What is there for me in it? What power is there in it for me? What knowledge is there in it? What love is there for me? What sense and pleasure is there for me in it? This is a lens in which he sees the entire world. Of course, the world is full of competition, so he has to negotiate with the world and get what he gets. It's not freely available. To different degrees he can exploit. So the main thing we see here is yajna, jnana, tapa is not given up. There is an important principle here. Yajna, dana, tapa is all about giving. It is about giving. It may be giving for taking. They know if I do this karma, I'll do good thing, I'll get good things. World, you do yajna, you please Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is the supreme Lord in this material world who is maintaining, who is karma phala prada, one who is giving the result of all. One should not think that Krishna has nothing to do with this material world. Supreme Lord is so great. His names are also great. The whole world can change into a prosperous world and a happy world, material world. By drones. If you make the people all over the world spend morning and evening 10 minutes, clap their hands and chant Hare Krishna, sit together, evening also sit together. It may look like how it will, wow, we are chanting 16 rounds. That is the meaning of Sankirtana. If he is pleased, his So as an organization in this material world, we don't live only for ourselves, our sadhana, ourselves. No doubt, it's good. It is Krishna's house. We are blessed. But as an organization, mission of the acharyas, and they do Sankirtana. And see how Krishna's vision, Prabhupada's vision, Krishna's vision comes through the parampara. How Prabhupada, when he was writing this purport, he already had Akshaya Patra in the mind. To that time the movement was so small, he couldn't imagine that government will give money for you to distribute prasadam. Simply by liberal distribution of prasadam and Sankirtana, whole world can become peaceful and prosperous. These are all absolute statements. It's not that we don't want material. So we should now, prasad distribution we are doing. But what is remaining is Sankirtana. We are not doing. We are doing only in the temple and few congregation. Just like prasad distribution is going on to everyone, to so many children, lakhs of children. There are 6 lakh villages in this country. In each village, one Sankirtan center should be set up. Not that it is run by full-time devotees. How many you will have? There are 6 lakh villages in India, approximately. So in each place, in each village, villages are all small also. In each village, one big hall should be there, built. It should be kept locked. Saturday and Sunday we should open. There should be automatic khichdi machine. Khichdi should be so tasty that the entire villagers will come. And then there should be a Sankirtana. 2-3 hours of Sankirtana. Give prasadam and go. That's all, simple program. Whole country will change. According to this statement of Prabhupada. What is the statement of Prabhupada? Simply by liberal distribution of prasada and Sankirtana, whole world can become peaceful and prosperous. This is the power of prasadam and Sankirtana. It's not necessary they have to be taught how to do 16 rounds and all that. Those who are interested, yes, from out of that they will come, the crop will come. Those who are more serious, they read Prabhupada's books and then all those things. Nothing. Start like this. Feed them. Make them sing and dance. Does it sound impossible? If you want to tell somebody you surrender to Krishna, looks impossible. Especially if you tell him you shave up and you come and do full-time service. Not possible. But to tell, you organize in such a way that nice prasadam is given every weekend and there is only a Sankirtan, chant and dance. They'll be willing. No need to know the philosophy. Both activities are enjoyable activities. Both are enjoyable activities. So much the Vaishnavas, as an organization, Prabhupada wanted all these things. It is not simply Krishna consciousness movement. It is not simply a matha for few of us to become pure devotees. It is also matha. Ashram portion is a matha. But this portion is not matha. This portion is for the welfare of the society. Any questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, like as you mentioned, Acharyas has a message to make pure devotees as well as message for the whole world, general public. So, like as you mentioned, if general public will be happy and they are not becoming a pure devotee, so to remain happy in the material world is also a thing which is criticized by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Acharya. And after giving these like examples, Acharyas have also criticized that one should not remain in that position and should elevate himself to a pure devotee. So how we can understand that?
No, this message is two different. One is a message for school student, another is a message for a college student. Messages are different. If somebody is in the 5th standard, is school student, what do you teach him? That level of lessons you teach him. Correct? Those who are in the college, their syllabus will be different. So similarly, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that it is Maya to be attached to happiness in this world also, that is for us. When somebody is completely lost in this world, if you bring prosperity through prasadam and through the prasadam and Sankirtana, then he can take the next lesson. Unless you finish 5th standard, you cannot come to 6th standard. So unless he experiences happiness, he will not be also be able to realize what is unhappiness. When high happiness he experiences, then he will see, oh, how painful it is to be poverty-stricken. Just like they say in our Akshapatra studies, they say, if we want to alleviate hunger in children, right? Hunger in children who are almost hungry every day, their experience is not as bad as the experience of you being hungry for one day. Because their mind gets conditioned. Hunger affects their life, but experientially, every day they are hungry. They become malnutrition and all those things. Body objectively it affects their body. But in terms of experience, they get used to it. So only when if you have a lot of money, you have experienced what is that money, suddenly you become pauper. You will experience what is really lack of money. Yes or no? So the dualities of this material world also, in order to experience this dukkhalaya, it is good to experience happiness also. Then you will realize that happiness is not real happiness. Real happiness has to be everlasting happiness. So from happiness, he will see the shortcomings of material happiness and he will try to, where is eternal happiness? So for everyone there is a message. It's a progressive path. Somehow in Krishna consciousness, so not that we have only one thing, you become sannyasis. Krishna consciousness movement is meant for producing sannyasis. If somebody wants to develop renunciation and become sannyasi, yes, it is also available. So much opportunity is given, as Prabhupada in this purport says. Opportunity, Krishna facilitates all kinds of things. So this Krishna consciousness movement is representing Lord Krishna. Krishna is in the heart of everyone. So each one is in their journey of either perpetually being in the material world or sometime deciding to go back to Godhead. Every living entity is on a journey and Krishna is seated in their heart. And great saints, great acharyas, Krishna himself comes down to this material world and he gives messages, not for only one. Ultimately you have to come to college, but you are in the school. Go to next. So ultimately, goal of Krishna is, he will be very happy if everybody goes back to Godhead. Everybody wants to go back to Godhead. But it is their choice. So do not choose. For those who do not choose to go back to Godhead, Krishna does not abandon them. He fulfills their desires through the laws of karma. So we should choose our path. Now we are talking a bigger vision of the Krishna consciousness movement. But I am very fortunate. I have come to Krishna consciousness as a serious practitioner. a serious sadhaka. I got special blessings. There are chant 16 rounds. My goal is to get complete vairagya, virakti from this material world. But I cannot push it on everybody. I have to be considerate. Some good fortune over the journey of so many lives, I come to the lotus feet of Prabhupada and I have understood that this is all fake. Fake Satya, fake Chitta, fake Ananda. I want pure chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This life, I want love of Godhead. I want to go back to Godhead. That is we can have that desire. But we should have our eyes over the world also, for the welfare of the world. Yes? Understood? Around some question? Okay, somebody else.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, you said for the world to be prosperous, Prabhupada says two things, Sankirtana and Prasadam distribution. So like for Prasadam distribution...
Just like take the small world, Hare Krishna, prosperous, peace and prosperous. In any temple, if you do Prasad distribution and Sankirtana every day, at least in that boundary, it will be a small world of peace and prosperity. Okay.
So Prabhu, you said for Prasadam, we have got Akshay Patra has come up. So for this Sankirtan, so still it is not happening outside. So have you got any revelation like how it will be achieved? Have you got any revelation or any plans are there how it shall be achieved?
I told you, 6 lakh villages, 6 lakh Sankirtan center should be built. I mean, you can, to build a total hall need not be as big as this. Maybe it will cost, each Sankirtan center will, with the Kichari mission, will cost 2 crores. 2 crores into 6 lakh is how much? 12 lakh crores you need. There will be some way of happening. It will happen. Not that, like the 12 lakh should come into our kitty and then we go and build and all those things. It will happen because everything is decentralized in this world. It will catch up. So that is the only way. There should be a flag of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in each village. Every town and village. City people you make on, they will not do Sankirtan, they'll eat and go. Just like Indira canteen is there. You cannot tell them you chant Hare Krishna. So many issues will come. In village, no, those who want to come can come, everybody will come. करने क्या है? नाम नाम खारी बोधा निज सर्व शक्ति, all shakti is in the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.